Salute everybody. This is Lawrence D. Adams. This is when spirituality and the game combines. You have the thinking class. We are live right now. Shout out to Joe Blast being in the back, being right there in the chat room. Shout out to you, Joe Blast. Good to see you there. This is the thinking class. This is when spirituality and the game combined. You have the thinking class. What's going on? Let's get it. What's going on? Dan Luch, Journey. What's going on? Good to see you, brother. I see you added on Instagram. Good to see you, brother. Let's get it going today. Let's get it going. Let's get it crack-a-lacking today. We're going to talk about today. Let me drop the music. Today, we're going to talk about the art of disagreement. The art of disagreement. What's going on? Yahoo, good to see you, brother. Good to see you in there. Shout out to all the wonderful men and women out here listening in the clouds, outside the cloud. We're going to talk about the art of disagreement. The art of disagreement. The art of disagreement. Disagreements. Let me lay the foundation because you got to hear this. The art of disagreement. Can't we all just get along? Can we all just get along? But let me put this out here and put this out here and let everybody marinate on this. Let everybody marinate on this. The art of disagreement. It is not disagreements are bound to take place. Disagreements are bound to take place. And I think what happens is in the course of our life, we have this fairy tale thought that everyone should agree with us. That everyone's going to like everything that we're going to say. That there's not going to be someone who's going to rebuttal what we have just put out there. We live in this fallacy that everyone should agree with us. The art of disagreement. The art of disagreement. You should be in the place where disagreement or disagreements becomes your friend. What happens is, even in relationship between men and women, sometimes men have this thing, is this egotistical thing that the woman can never disagree with him. And then women have this fallacy that the man should never disagree with her. We have this whole thing even on YouTube with the Passport Brothers and the dating coaches that no one can have a disagreement. Disagreements actually supposed to happen and needs to happen. The problem is we think no one should challenge what we think, what we say, and what we have put out there. Disagreements is part of the narrative of being in this world. So you should be okay. You know what? To this week, we're going to talk about it. You need to make disagreements your friend. You need to make disagreements your friend. Those who oppose disagreements will tend to be in more disagreements. Disagreements are not a bad thing. But here's the caveat to that. Is your disagreement a shot at the thought, or is it a shot at the individual? I know I'm about to repeat that this week, but it's going to make sense. Is the disagreement that you're having, is it a personal disagreement against that person, or is it a disagreement against that particular ideology? See, that's where we need to really examine why disagreements are not a bad thing. Because many times the disagreements that we may have may be because, what's good, Cap for life, good to see you. Many times the disagreements that we have with individuals is not the ideology, but it's more of a personal attack against them, or we're taking their disagreement as is being personal towards us. Let me say that again. Many times we make the disagreement more personal than what it needs to be. And then the person who is disagreeing, what is your motive for disagreeing with me? Because your motive for disagreeing with me may be just because you took it personal and your ego got in the way, or you disagree because you feel it's a personal shot against you as an individual and not at the ideology or the thought that's there. Most people miss this when it comes to disagreements. And y'all can let me know, put a number 1 in the chat room for this one. The most time people get into the reason why for disagreements, put a number 1 for this one, is because people, why disagreements last, what's going on, Wade? Why disagreements last so long is because most people emotions get in the way. Put a number 1 in the chat room if you agree. Put a number 1 in the chat room if you know the reason why disagreements take a left turn instead of going right is because most people's disagreements take place because their emotions get in the way. I don't care. You can watch this play out on I see it in the religious realm. I see it on, we can see with the Passport Brothers and then with the dating coach. We can say this with the men and the women. Most time, the reason why the disagreement never gets resolved is because somebody's emotions then got in the way and they got in the feelings. When I was younger, man, we used to play this game. It was like football. So you would throw the football in the air, whoever catch it had to run to the opposite end of the field or the opposite end of the yard. And what happens is this, we would play that for hours. Then somebody end up getting tackled and getting in their feelings. But you knew when you got into the game, when you threw the ball up and you had to catch it and run to the other side of the field or the other side of the yard, that you were going to get tackled. It was just part of the game. But some people couldn't take being tackled, but they wanted to what? Always get the ball. Some people could not, they wanted to get the ball, but they did not want to get tackled. It's the same thing with disagreement. And what we see on these YouTube streets, what we see in this constant cycle of men and women going back and forth. I done told you my stand on it. I am not here to save anybody. That is not my job. The moment you become a savior is the moment you go to the cross. The message is only for those who are ready to receive it. I am not here to try to save men. I am not trying to here to save men or women. You have a choice on what you're going to do. But disagreements are like that football game we used to play. We used to call it, and you throw the ball in the air and you catch it and you got to run to the field. You don't want to get tackled. And the moment you get tackled, you get to get into your feelings. That's what we see on these YouTube streets. That's what we see on Instagram. That's what we see in the DMs. People end up getting emotional because they feel that you are attacking them personally with your disagreement, or they feel that you should agree with them because what they said is right. Trust me, I watched it all the time. I watch it play out too many times. Look anywhere on these YouTube streets, anywhere, any Discord, or any discussion has happened, and there's two opposing thoughts. If the people are not mature enough in their emotional intelligence, it can turn into an homonym, and now we are attacking the individual and not the topic at hand. We are trying to pick at the person's character and not at the what? At the particular topic. Same thing happened to KS. What did they try to do to minimize the message? Was to attack his character by saying he's gay. Where's his wife? Why is he dressed like that? Why is he doing this? It was a way to get away from the topic at hand and attack the character of the man. Disagreements is one of the most powerful things that any group of people should embrace. Let me say that again. Disagreements is one of the most powerful things any group of people, any couple should embrace. As a result, most of us have to choose between being right or choosing peace. Come on, right, correct. But disagreements are powerful. Sometimes I'll say that on Wednesday. Disagreements should take place. Many times we try to run away from disagreements, because I'm going to go a little bit further. It's because we don't know how to deal with conflict management. So we go for peace because we don't know how to deal with conflict management within the YouTube space, within relationships, along with other people, because we don't know how to deal with who has taught you how to deal with conflict? Who has prepped you on how to deal with someone who don't agree with you? Who has told you when is the right time to surrender a topic and it's not worth going on and on because the other individual will never get it? We have never dealt with completely on how to deal with conflict management. Therefore, we don't know how to deal with disagreements. And there it starts the cycle again of what? Becoming emotional. And whether you want to admit it, brothers, men in the chat room, y'all get emotional too when it comes to disagreement. No, man, because your ego gets out of check. Your ego gets out of check. And guess what? Nobody told me. There it is. No one told me. Who? That's why we run from disagreements, because we never were taught how to deal with conflict management. Or we take it so personal that this person is, guess y'all gonna make me do. This person is talking about me. What are they talking about? These people talking about me. Why are these people talking about me? LDA. I can't do it no more. I'm tired of disagreements. Everybody's talking about me. The dating coaches, the password brothers, talking about me. My woman, no one has taught you effectively as a man first. I'm talking to the men first. How to deal with what? Conflict management and how to deal with disagreements. We were just thrown into the frying pan and never been given conflict management skills. And so what happens is we now get a platform called social media, called Instagram, called Facebook, called TikTok, called anything else. And we never, ever say, hey, how do we resolve disagreements amongst ourselves? But most of all, many of us are in disagreements with the person in the mirror, and that's yourself. That's just the reality of it. Everybody wants game. Let me give me some game. The biggest part of game, since I'm gonna give to y'all, like everybody want to throw around the word game, the biggest part of game is knowing how to resolve a conflict when disagreement takes place. And one of the things you do, you don't use your hands, you use your mind. That's player all the way. I don't care what you say. This is the player. The real PIs use their what? Their minds and not their hands when it comes to disagreements or conflict. Hands was the last thing you use when the person could not, after all many trying, did not get what you were saying. So everybody talk about this pimp stuff. I'm a pimp. I'm gonna get girls 10 toes down. Anything you're gonna have, if you have 10 girls down, 10 toes down, and you got 2 women, one of the biggest things you have to do is learn how to deal with disagreements. They are not going to agree with each other. Say there's one guy and 2 women. There will be disagreements, but how that man sets the order of disagreements, guess what happens? That's gonna make the difference. Uh-oh, Joe Blast, why you say that, dude? Why you say that? Bruh, you right there. Men may be more emotional than women. A lot of men are more emotional than women. Because let's dive a little deeper in there, because this is going to deal with disagreement. I'm gonna dive right into this, because most people don't want to do that. Thank you, Yahoo. Yup, deep. Yup, it's deep. But I'm gonna dive right into it. Pimping is a non-contact sport. Church. I don't know why people don't get this. So all these people talking about I'm pimping, but you and your emotions, it let me know that you don't know nothing about this pimping. Let's get many men are. What happens is, and I'm gonna go a little deep with this. A lot of men have not got in touch with their emotions. So when their emotions flood their body, they don't know what to do. And the first thing they do is fight or flight. They get angry instead of processing, what am I going through? Why am I feeling this certain way? The man who know who he is, don't allow his emotions to rule himself, but he allow his emotions to what? To be in check. So you can handle it. You can't handle a disagreement between two people when you becoming emotional too. Pimping is a non-contact sport. Check. Lack of respect, I believe. Okay. Emotional maturity is essential for a conversation in a relationship. You guys are getting it. That's why I'm saying disagreements are a beautiful thing. Matter of fact, I am even saying you should almost say, you know what, I'm okay with you being disagreeable, or you disagree. Disagreeing, not being a disagreeable. Let me make sure I clarify that, because ain't no man and no person can live with a woman. Let me say this again, who is always disagreeable. At the end of the day, he's going to get tired of that. But let me get to the point I want to get at that Joe Blast brought up. A lot of men have not dove into their emotions. And this is not talking about, I need a man with no Ralph Trespass talking about a man of sensitivity. No, it's a difference between being sensitive and being emotional mature. If you watch me on any other panels, if you watch me on different things on here, you notice I automatically begin to rock back and forth. I get quiet. I'm pulling myself back into my center, pulling my emotions of what was said and what was done, and coming back to logic. Let's go a little bit deeper. What time we at? Now we understand, even when we're dealing with the female, that her mode of operation is what for her to go what? Emotional and then logic. She processed through her emotion. But when you as a man get into your emotions with a woman and you get upset, we can't tell who is the woman, you or her. Dang, this too much for somebody. This too much. We can't tell who is the woman, you or her. Who's the real emotional one? You want to punch holes in the wall. You want to cuss her out. Guess what she just figured out? Got him. Where these nuts at? He should be in here. Got him. She found your emotional hole in your armor. Emotional stupidity comes from a lack of emotional intelligence. Correct. So what did you got to understand? The art of disagreement is the ability first for you to have yourself in check, for you to be non-moved by somebody else's emotions. The most dangerous thing you can do as a man or as a person, but I'm talking to the men first, is for you not to be moved when someone is disagreeing with you, for you to be as cool as a cucumber, where they cannot read where you will come from or what you would say, where they cannot tell if you're going to say this or you're going to do that. That is the real essence of emotional intelligence. And as I've noticed on these YouTube streets, we have a lot of people who have a big voice, but they have a small emotional intelligence. Let me say that again, because I don't think everybody heard me. Let me say this again. Never let them see you sweat. Yep, that's right. Damn, I done punched a hole in many walls. Right. So we got a lot of people who have a big voice. They can say a whole bunch of stuff, but their emotional intelligence is a Pee Wee Herman, small, Vienna sausage. They're emotional, so they can never handle a disagreement because they don't know how to handle their emotions. So anybody can tick them off by presenting them with a disagreement, because now I know what makes you tick. Y'all better peep this game. It's too much game right here. Y'all, everybody talk about game. I want the game to get women. I'm trying to give you the game of life. And you can watch it if you sit back and be an observer of life. Those men who are emotional driven and those men who are observers of life and have their emotional intelligence in place. They know how to handle disagreements without trying to lead to ad hominems. And hominems is mean you take it off of the subject and you attacking the person's character, which is rampant on the YouTube streets, which is rampant everywhere. You can see it rampant with women. When you have pulled them in the corner with logic, their next tool of choice is shame, guilt, and the need to be right, and an ad hominem on top of it with a cake on with a cherry on top. They attack your character. You must be gay. You must not be intelligent. You don't know what you're talking about. I know what I'm talking about. I have kicked a hole in the door before. Now move me on my parts. Yep. See, we all, if we were to be honest, have came off our square when it comes to this emotional intelligence and this ability to handle disagreements. Because we really wanted to knock the person out, but the threat of going to jail was not even worth it, because we couldn't pull our emotions back into subjection. Y'all better get this. Pull our emotions back into subjection of who we are. So we allow the disagreement to be seasoned with emotions instead of pulling them back and say, what is the logic of this? So you got to peep the game that women use on men. Pay attention to what I'm getting. She's going to be emotional. Y'all got to get this. She is going to be emotional. And I'm not knocking some women who do that. But if she gets you to be emotional in the disagreement, guess what? Baby, she done got you. She has pulled your card like I never said before. She pulled your card. I just tell people, don't mistake my kindness for weakness, right? And it's now you realize that many times disagreements are latent or seasoned or designed to get you, not because they disagree with your ideology, it's because they don't understand that their emotions is causing the disagreements. The need to be right. So disagreements, I'm telling you, is a gift from God. Y'all better get that. Put a number 2 in the chat room for this. Disagreements are a gift from God. I promise you. You need to be careful of the people who always agree with you and not the people who don't agree with you. Disagreements, put a number 2 in the chat room. Disagreements are a gift from God. You better catch this. This real game, real one. This is where it really hits it at. Disagreements, because it reveals you and it reveals the person. It's a gift. You better thank God for this gift, a disagreement. Disagreements are a gift from God. What happens is we don't want disagreement because it's uncomfortable. It makes me feel a certain kind of way. Disagreements are a gift to God to reveal you, where you getting emotional, and it shows you whether your thought or train of thought is correct or not. But disagreements, baby, I'm telling you, is a gift from God. Nothing moves forward in any society if everyone agrees. I don't care what it is. Makes you grow. That's what I want to get. That's it. Nothing moves forward in society unless there are some disagreements. Disagreements helps you to flesh out or to flush out any contrary thought that's not addressed. This is the reason why people can get along with men and women can't get along, because they have not fleshed out or flushed out all the disagreements inside of them. They buried them inside of them. And this is something else I need you men to get, especially you brother. I want you to get this. Many times you're too agreeable because you're trying to get that kitty cat. You're so agreeable because you don't want to mess up your chances of getting the kitty cat. You hoping the kitty cat has 9 lives, so you never gonna be disagreeable or whatever you say, baby. Yeah, you the one. Your hair is just beautiful. Oh man, your breath smells like 10,000 roses. Oh my God, you're a gift from God. I love who you are. I will never, ever do anything to hurt you. I love you. Yes, you are. Oh my God, I just love you. And you're right there because you're so infatuated with the kitty cat that you don't know how to be disagreeable. And disagreeable means that you're not attacking the person. That means I don't agree with what you're saying, and I'm going to say something. Too many men bury their voices inside of them because they want to agree with someone or with a particular group, or because they want the kitty cat. And they never stand up and say, hey, I don't go with that. And that conversation from that point should be a building block, not a hindrance to a more effective and strengthening of a relationship. Disagreements is a gift from God. But we take it as an enemy because we think the enemy is using it to be a tool to stop us. But the true essence of a real man, he embraces disagreements and he allows his emotional intelligence to process it so that he can move forward and be the most effective man or the best leader in his area of expertise or whatever he's doing. Disagreements. The problem is this. What time is it? We got 4 minutes. The problem is this. Some people, let me put it this way, because I'm gonna cut to some people, because that's too general. Some men are so emotional that they take good disagreements and they don't know how to let it go. Some men, you're speaking too much facts earlier right now. Some men are so emotional. So emotional. They wear the cloak of, yeah, I'm a man. They may have a beard down to their belly. They may be walk with a limp, whatever the case may be. You got to understand some men are so emotional that if a disagreement, they take disagreements to the 19 umpteenth power. Watch it. Watch on any YouTube streets. Watch on these YouTube streets. Watch on any memes. Watch when they interact with women, how they get in their emotions when it comes to a disagreement or a thought that is contrary to theirs. They end up what? They want to raise their voice. They want to, I'm going to tell you, you ain't nothing. I'm going to get you. They can't handle it because they're emotionally immature to handle the disagreements. Ooh, boy, I know I needed this. I would never take disagreement or differences of opinion as a need to take up arms. It's a way of learning how to navigate better through life. You right on the money. But I got to say something because I got to address this because we have a lot of men who all got a voice on these streets and numbers and this and that, but they're emotionally immature. So they can't handle a disagreement. They can't handle somebody saying you're wrong and I'm right. And so what happens is they live in an insulated life where no one can poke holes. And if you try to poke holes in what they're saying, they end up seeping with emotions because how dare you tell me I'm wrong? How dare you correct me? I got game from the Himalayas. I'm here to tell you, brothers and sisters who are listening, disagreements, I'm going to say it again, is a gift from God. But this which you must discern when you realize where disagreements come from. Is the disagreement genuinely a disagreement, or is the disagreement from a place? Or is the disagreements from a place of contention to stir you to get into your emotions, or to attack you personally? That's what you have to discern as a man. If we move it in truth and facts, you should never have to actually say they're wrong. You simply prove it to them. Come on, you get me right there. But you need to examine when there's a disagreement. Is this a personal attack against me? Me and my ideology is one thing. But you got to look at where is this person coming from that they're coming with this disagreement, or they're coming with this question of what I said or what you said. You always look at what are their intentions. And if you're discerning correctly, you could discern that this person's disagreements or the way they're using disagreement, they're using it as a way of a tool and not, they're using it as a way of a weapon. They're weaponizing disagreements and not using it as a tool to understand. It took me a long time to get a grasp on emotional control. Brother, I understand. Let me say this again. Are they using this disagreement as a tool, or are they using this disagreement as to weaponize anything that you say to blow it out the water? Because, you know, us men, we got to prove that we're right. Yeah, you know, I'm right. You know, I got this together. I noticed I didn't say too much about the women, but I'm saying something, you know, women use it too, but you got to understand women, you understand the basis of game. Women are going to come from emotions to logic. Men, somehow some men have copied women. They get emotional, then they try to get logic instead of being logical first. Whew, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And don't misinterpret their passion for aggression. Come on. Exactly. Their reaction or response will tell you what emotional maturity level they're at. You can watch this play out on YouTube all the time. And then the real thing is the music is coming on. Catch me Wednesday as we continue this conversation on the gift of disagreement. This is Lawrence E. Adams, and I'm out.